All right, my dears. So today is Thursday. Today is Thursday at noon. Grateful to have you here. Today we're going to do a mandala practice. And as I was just saying, mandala practice means we're spinning all over our mats. And so I really like this practice a lot because it's challenging to me as a yoga teacher. I have to remain really present because it's not a practice that you can kind of slip into being rote or routine or kind of check out from because you've done it so many times. Um, when I really first started diving into mandala practice, it was to get really creative and really present in the body. So one of the things that I like to say beforehand is that if you hear me say right side twice, that's on purpose, right? So we're going to be spinning all the way around our mat. It's useful to have blocks if you like to use them as props. You don't need them by any length of the imagination. Also, you'll hear me say things like step to down dog, get to down dog your own way, chaturanga, or whatever else you'd like to do. So I like to provide your agency within all the classes that I teach, where if something is not working for your body, then please change it. Yeah. And let's just sit back for a moment, ground ourselves. So, however you come into your seat, we might take a moment to rock side to side, forward and back, and just notice, is part of your body, do you lean more forward on your sitting bones or more back on your sitting bones? Is part of your body more dominant? Do you lean right? Do you lean left? And of course, this could be very subtle. Just notice. And come to what feels like center for you. So it doesn't matter what it looks like, matters how it feels to you. Typically, I have to draw my chin back so the back of my neck can remain nice and long, crown of the head tall. And we'll just take a few moments. So for me, it's very natural to close my eyes, but if that's not true for you, if you'd rather keep your eyes open, that's okay too. Sometimes open eyes with downward cast eyes can be really grounding, settling. And some folks, even looking around the room, tracking the room, can feel settling. So we're all different. And take a few deep breaths here. And as we come into a sensation of feeling grounded or settled in our body, I like to acknowledge the land we're on. So here on Whidbey Island, I am on the land of the Tulalip tribe, Coast Salish people. And you might take a moment to remember whose land you're on. If you're in Seattle, as many of you are, that's the land of the Duwamish tribe, still Coast Salish people. And when we honor that, we can come into a deeper connection to the land that has been really tended to as relative for many generations, is still being tended as relative by many generations to come. When we acknowledge that, we tend to show up better. We show up better for the land, we show up better for the water, for the plants, the animals, and ultimately ourselves and each other. And then we'll allow our awareness to draw to our crown. And for a moment, we'll feel into our inherent dignity, our fundamental worthiness and sense of belonging. And feeling that connection of all people across all lines of difference in all of our identities, with the birthright to feel a sense of belonging, a sense of being able to fully express our identities and be seen and heard and welcomed and honored. That each one of us is inherently worthy of love and freedom. And bring our palms to our heart. I know for me, I've been feeling a lot of gratitude, a lot of hope with the inauguration yesterday, and just a new dawn, a new day on the horizon. And yes, we have so much work to do, but it's nice to feel a sense of fortification And so if you have anything in your life that you're grateful for, or if you can feel any measure of hope or make any dedication for your practice, now is the time to do so. And then we'll begin with an Om deep breath in. All right, my dears, so we'll come to the top of our mat today, the top of our mat. And we'll stand here in mountain pose. So again, you might see me use blocks. If you have them, you can certainly do that, but they're not necessary. In mountain pose, we might have our feet at hip distance. And notice how that feels. Rock a little bit forward and back, side to side, and really feel our feet root down here. Perhaps even lifting your toes. And then draw the big toes together, leave the heels slightly apart, and see that stance and how that feels. So for me and my body, that's more challenging. Not necessarily worse or better, just more challenging. I feel an activation through my thighs. It's less stable. So I'll bring my feet back out. For a moment, we'll find the stance for us that is stable and steady. And then we'll inhale and reach our arms up. Exhale, forward fold over our legs. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise back up. A bend to the knees is great. Palms right at your heart. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Palms to the heart. One more time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise. Palms to the heart. All right, moving on. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Step your left toes to the back of the mat. Dip your hips, lift your heart, breathe in. Straighten your leg, breathe out. Stay for an inhale. Bend that knee. Make the way to the long edge of the mat, and we'll move side to side in Skandasana. Dipping the hips, they don't have to be too low here, just warming up. Moving side to side. You could keep your hands on the ground, or you could even lift them up. And then the next time you're to the left, spin everything that direction facing the back of the mat. Dip the hips, lift the heart, breathe in. Straighten the leg, breathe out. Inhale here. Bend the knee. Come to plank pose. You could use blocks, or you could have your forearms down. You could also have your knees down. Take a deep breath in. Long breath out. 2 more breaths. Find that sense of steadiness. Inhale here. Down dog on your exhale. Right leg goes high. Draw that knee in toward your belly, chest, or even your nose. Step the foot forward. Dip the hips, lift the heart, breathe in. Straighten the leg, breathe out. Stay for an inhale. Bend the knee. Make your way to the long edge of the mat and go side to side. Side to side, toes are a little turned out here. Next time you're to the left, spin that direction, dip your hips, lift your heart, breathe in. Straighten the leg. Stay for the inhale. Bend your knee. Look forward, breathe in. Step forward and fold. Rise up. Palms to your heart. Inhale, arms reach up. Fold forward. Halfway lift. Right toes step back. Dip the hips, lift the heart, breathe in. Straighten the leg, breathe out. Stay for your inhale. Bend your knee. This time reach your left arm to the sky. Deep breath in. Spin to face the long edge of the mat and go side to side. Side to side. Next time you're to the right, spin that direction. Dip the hips, lift the heart, breathe in. Straighten the leg, breathe out. Stay for an inhale. Bend the knee. Reach your right arm up. Deep breath in. Plank. Find your steadiness or feel your lack of steadiness. That's all right. Downward facing dog. Left leg lifts. Draw the knee in toward your belly, chest, or nose. Step the foot forward. Dip the hips. Lift the heart, breathe in. Straighten the leg, breathe out. Inhale here. Bend the knee. Left arm up. Breathe in. Make your way to the long edge of the mat and go side to side. Next time you're to the right, spin that direction, dip the hips, lift the heart. Straighten the leg. Breathe in. Bend the knee. Right arm up. Inhale here. Place the hand down, step forward and fold. Rise up. Palms to the heart. Inhale, reach your arms up. Fold forward. Halfway lift. Now step back plank. Come onto your right side for side plank. So right knee could be down, or you could stagger your feet like I am, or you could stack them. Back to plank. Left side, side plank. Staggering, stacking, or left knee down. Breathe in. Back to plank. Knees could come down. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Down dog, 5 breaths. Right leg lifts. Bend the knee, spin the hip open. Inhale here. Step that foot forward. Rise up. Crescent lunge. So hands might go to your hips. You might slightly bend the back knee. Tuck your tail a little. Lift your heart, lift your arms, breathe in. Warrior two. Straighten your right leg, triangle. 5 breaths, find your feet. Spin your heart up. And then maybe your right hand just is not touching anything. Feel how stable you can be in your core and in your feet. Warrior two. Inhale, star pose. Exhale, goddess, bend your knees. So hands can be at the heart. They could be up. You could move a little. You could lift your toes. You could lift your heels. See what works. Inhale, star. Warrior two toward the back of the mat. Breathe in and out. Straighten that left leg. Triangle. Find your feet. Find your core. Stack your shoulders. Stack your hips. And then maybe left hand just is free. Back to warrior two. Let's pivot the back toes. Crescent lunge. Bending that back knee a little. Lifting the heart. Lifting the arms, shoulders down. Deep breath in. Frame your front foot plank. Right side, side plank. Plank. Left side, side plank. Plank. Knees could be down. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. That same right leg lifts. Bend the knees, bend the hip open. Breathe in. Step that foot forward. Crescent lunge, rise. Inhale here. Warrior two. This time, exalted warrior. We'll bend that top arm, interlace our fingers, and lean our head back into the right forearm. Opening the heart, opening the right side body. Root through the back foot. And then release your hands, straighten the front leg, triangle. Warrior two. Inhale, star. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, star. Warrior two toward the front. Exalted warrior. And we'll interlace our fingers. Lean our head back into our left forearm. Root through the back foot, this pinky toe each side. Open the ribs, open the heart, breathe. And release your hands, straighten the front leg, triangle. And then warrior two. We're gonna pivot those back toes. Take your time. Crescent lunge. Breathe in. Plank. Left side, side plank. Plank. Right side, side plank. Plank. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Down dog. Left leg lifts. Bend the knee, spin the hip open. Inhale here. Step the foot forward. Now, friends, either crescent lunge, where we've been going, or low lunge. We'll twist. So for some of us, our low back likes the back knee down more. I'm definitely in that camp. We'll twist high, arms out in a T shape. And then bring either your right wrist, forearm, or even that elbow outside your left knee. Belly in. Come back to center, either crescent lunge or low lunge. And then warrior two. So if you're in low lunge, lifting the knee, back foot flat, finding warrior two. Inhale, exalted warrior. Exhale, side angle. Twice more. Inhale, exalted. Side angle. Inhale, exalted. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, warrior two. Star. Breathe in. Goddess. Inhale, star. Warrior two toward the back. Inhale, exalted. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, exalted. Exhale, side angle. One more. Back to warrior two. And then you choose either crescent lunge or the back knee down. Twist high, arms in a T shape. Or maybe the left wrist, forearm, or even elbow outside the right knee. belly in. Wherever you are, frame the front foot. Plank, knees could be down. Left side, side plank, any variation. Plank. Right side, side plank, any variation. Plank. Shift forward. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Left leg lifts. And the knees bend the hip open. Breathe in. Step that foot forward. Again, crescent lunge. This time, grab your right wrist, lean left. So you could be up, or you could also put your back knee down here. Whatever helps you get more into that right side body. And also sending the hips a little forward, the right hip flexor. So I have my arms kind of like that warrior two, exalted warrior we did. Hands interlaced, but you could also grab your wrist. Whatever feels more useful. 2 more breaths. Come back to center. Twist high. Or twist low. Right elbow outside, left knee. Release, frame the front foot if you're down with the knee. Otherwise, straight to warrior two. We'll do that exalted warrior with our hands interlaced. Keep your hands this way. Straighten the front leg, come toward triangle with your hands like this. You won't go very far. Draw your belly in. Back to warrior two, hands free. Inhale, star. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, star. Warrior two toward the front. Exalted warrior will interlace our hands. Lean your head back into your form. Keep your hands, your arms. Straighten that front leg. Triangle with these arms. So we're trying to lengthen the bottom ribs here. Might not go very far, that's great. Draw your belly in, feel your feet. Back to warrior two. And then we're gonna come to crescent lunge, where we grab that left wrist and lean right, or the hands can be interlaced. Or my dears, put the left knee down. Few breaths here. Opening those left side ribs. Back to center and twist high, or twist low. Wrist, forearm, or elbow outside the right knee. Wherever you are, bring the front foot, come to plank. Right side, side plank. Back to plank. Left side, side plank. Back to plank. Shift forward, chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog, 5 breaths. Walk or hop to the top. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair pose. Breathe in. Same thing with the feet. You can have them hip distance or together. Whatever allows you to feel grounded. Weight is in your heels. Fold forward. Halfway lift. Down dog your way. So I might hold plank. You might do chaturanga or cow cat or just step back. From down dog, right leg high. Bend the knee, spin the hip open. Breathe in here. Step the foot forward, warrior 2. Inhale, exalted warrior. Exhale, half moon. So half moon, we might just have a little bitty half moon. You might barely lift your foot off the floor. Your left hand might stay on your hip. Or you might open your arms. See what works. The other way is to use a block or a chair, a couch, a mantle, whatever you have at home for a little more stability. And then we'll land back, star pose. Bend your knees, goddess. Star. Warrior 2 toward the back. Inhale, exalted. Now, half moon maybe up high, and it's just little. More stabilizing for the SI joints. Arms could open. Or you could use a block. Come down a little more. Warrior 2. Inhale, exalted. Down dog your way. Same right leg lifts. Open your hip. Inhale here. Step the foot forward. Warrior two. Exalted warrior. Half moon. Airplane. Squaring the hips. And then revolved half moon. You might take hold of your block with your left hand. Right hip back. Right arm up. Place that back foot down. Bow forward over your legs. So we have heel to heel alignment, or even wider. Draw your right hip back. Legs are straightish. Root down through the pinky toe edge side of the back foot. And lengthen your spine. Right hip draws back. Weight in your back heel, right arm lifts. Revolve triangle. And then frame the front foot. 5 breaths. We're going to make the way to the long edge of the mat, but this time we're going to fold forward. So maybe your forehead goes to a block. Some folks, it might go to the floor, the crown of the head. You might bend your knees just slightly. See what works. And then we'll halfway lift. Turn our heels in. Place our forearms to our thighs. Squat low. Rise up, star. Warrior two toward the front. Inhale, exalted warrior. Half moon. Airplane. Squaring the hips. And then revolved half moon. Right hand might be on a block. Left hand could be to the hip or up. Revolved half moon. And then we'll place the foot down. Hold forward over your legs. Straightish legs. Feet heel to heel or even wider. Kind of a short distance. We'll lengthen and halfway lift. Our right hand might be on a block. Left hand could be to the hip or up, revolved triangle. Weight in both heels. And then fold over that front leg. 5 breaths. And then plank pose. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Left leg lifts. Open your hip. Breathe in. Now take this left foot to the outside of your left hand. And then bring your right knee to the earth. You might walk yourself a little wider. Left hand gently nudges that left thigh open. You might go to the pinky toe edge side of that left foot. You could use a block here and come onto your forearm or onto your forearm without the block. You could bend that right knee and reach back with your left hand for the foot. Kick the foot into the hand. You could draw the heel in toward the booty. Oh dear. Breathe. And then release. We'll heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. That front leg in. Straighten just the front leg. So maybe you place your block at that foot, if you can reach. Heart forward, hips back. Breathing into that hamstring. Now with your foot pretty far forward of the knee, we'll bend that front knee and focus on the right front of the hip. So we'll come up a little bit. We're stretching the psoas on the right side, the hip flexor. Breathe. You might stay in either of these places, or you might begin to straighten that front leg. And come into Hanumanasana, the splits. I say it's okay to turn your back foot out, because whenever I don't, it affects my SI joint. And so we'll stay a few breaths here, wherever this looks like for you. Now we're going to make our way toward the long edge of the mat seated. Wide-legged forward fold. So flex the feet, bring the sitting bones up, let your booty have its full area code. Start to come forward, maybe onto a block, maybe onto your palms, maybe onto your forehead. Wherever you are, breathe. Flex your feet, have your toes point up. Come back up. We're going to bend our right knee and come to pigeon on our right side. Yeah? So you're just rolling over into pigeon. We'll stay upright. So your right knee is by your right wrist. You might have to tuck your back toes under and inch that back knee back. Take a deep breath in. And then maybe come onto your forearms or forehead. About 10 breaths here. Now listen, we're going to come onto our hands, tuck our back toes under. This right leg is going to lift, bend the knee, bend the hip open. Inhale here. Step the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Bring your left knee down. You might widen your stance. You could have a block. Right hand gently nudges the right knee open. You might shift onto the pinky toe edge side of the foot. You could stay here, or you could come onto your forearm. You could stay here, or you could bend the back knee. Reach back with the right hand for the left foot. Maybe drawing the heel in toward the butt. And then releasing that heel toe, that front foot in. Straighten just the front leg. Maybe place a block there. Breathe into your hamstring. We're different side to side, so notice that. Maybe you have more of a bend to your knee on this side or less. Just notice, breathe. Adapt the posture, don't adapt your body to fit into anything. Adapt the posture to fit you. And then we'll bend that front knee. Our foot is really quite far forward of the knee. And we're trying to stretch the front of the left hip. So we're sending hips forward, breathing. Might lean off to the left. I have a block under my left hand. That's useful. And then you could stay with either of those postures or make your way toward Hanumanasana, the split. And remember, it's okay to let your back toes turn out some. Draw the right hip back a little. We'll make our way to that long edge of the mat again. And this time, we'll bring our right hand on our right thigh. Left arm reaches up and over for your own head. Use your left elbow against your thigh, send the heart up. Or even reach for your big toe. All the way back up. And over to the right. So right elbow against the right thigh helps to open up there. You might grab your own head. Lean back or even the big toe. Come back up, my dears. Bend the left knee and come to pigeon. You might have to scoot your left toes back. You might come up onto your front leg or blocks. You might come down to your forearms or forehead even. And breathe. And then we'll sit off onto that left hip. Draw the right leg forward. We're going to come down onto our backs. And as you do, drawing your knees into your chest. You might do a few knee circles one direction. And a few the other way. And then maybe a block between your knees if you're like me and your SI joints are a little tender. We'll twist to the left. So the block helps the knees to line up. And then you can hold them there. And maybe it's just your right fingertips that touch the ground, maybe the palm, the back of the hand, maybe the arm, but with the knees stacked, probably not the shoulder. At least not right away. Sometimes I can soften into it, drawing the belly in, but it takes time. We'll come slowly back to center. Pause there for a moment, even if there's the block between your knees, that's fine. Or pillow, whatever we can use. And then we'll twist to the right, try to stack those knees. Hold them there. And then again, it might just be your fingertips, your left fingertips that touch the floor, or the back of the hand or the forearm. And then slowly back to center. So happy baby pose, or the soles of the feet together, interlacing your fingers around the feet, whatever feels more useful to you right now. I personally like this one because I feel my mid back. I mean, of course, you'll feel your inner thigh stretch, but maybe also you can breathe right into the mid back here. For a moment here, you might have gratitude for this amazing body of yours. What a gift. What a deep privilege to have an able body. My goodness. Thank you, body. I don't know about you all, but I spent a lot of my life focusing on what is wrong, what is not right with my body. And there's so much right. There's so much right. So we kind of have a lot to make up for. Tell the body thank you. Sweet body. Put up with a lot. All right, my dears. And then for the final pose, I know some of you love shoulder stand and that feels great in your body, and that's awesome if that's you. It's definitely not me. So I will be placing a block underneath my sacrum and legs go up to the sky, or you could put legs up the wall. At this point of the practice, please choose something that feels more restful, less effort. Maybe the breath becomes effortless now, might even feel shallow or almost imperceptible. If some of you like plow, feel free to do that. You could always roll down into fish pose. If you're with block under the sacrum like me, you might just take a few more moments there. If your legs up the wall, that might be where you stay. Bend our knees. If the block is under the sacrum, we'll come to our version of Shavasana. So for me, I like to walk my feet wide, knees together, arms above the head. Whatever pose feels great for you. Maybe blankets or pillows. Stay for a few moments here, just in rest, to let our body absorb the practice. Let our mind perhaps find a moment of stillness. For a moment, could you feel gravity like a tender hug? When I say that to myself, I feel my arms relax, my body let go a little bit more, soften. And we'll come over to one side, doesn't matter which, for a couple breaths. And then slowly we'll come back to our seat. Palms come to our heart in any shape that feels useful to you right now. Feeling that connection again to your earth, to the body on the earth, to being in this body right now, in all of our identities. This really potent, powerful time. on this land. And when we do these practices that help us just to create a tiny bit more peace in our own nervous system, it truly does help us to act in peace more often. In that spirit of peace, we say Shanti, Shalom, Salam, Amani, Maluhia, Irini, Shiakan, Jam, Pache, Paz. In the spirit of our collective and collaborative liberation, we say Aho, Ashe, Amin, Amen. Blessed be, Kapu Aloha, En Lakach, Satnam, Namaste, Black Lives Matter.